Hi there, this is Giovanni here at Frap Tools, and today we are going for Todd Barton's Krell Patch. Now, the Krell Patch has quickly become an excellent example of generative music and generative patching. It draws inspiration from the soundtrack of the 1950s sci-fi film Forbidden Planet, and after Todd Barton's attempt, nearly every modular synthesizer player has tried this patch as a sort of exercise or etude. And since Todd Barton's tutorial published on Vimeo, that I will link here and in the description, nearly every musician with a modular synthesizer more or less have tried this kind of patch. There are plenty of videos and tutorials on YouTube, and I would like to stick to Todd Barton's instruction and recreate them with this kind of setup here. So first of all, I will take Brainsaw's final output because I might need the wave folder later on, and I will patch it to Kunsa filter number 1, which will sound something like this in low pass filter behavior. But I won't patch it straight to the CGM, and rather I will, no, actually, since I need to route one filter into the other, and I just need to modulate the ping circuit over the first one, I will patch it to filter number 4, which will sound more or less the same. And then I will patch its output, low pass filter output, into the input of filter number 3. And then I will listen to filter 3, which I will keep fully open for now. Why? Because I will use the ping circuit to modulate this one, and I just didn't want to use the dummy cable to break the semi-normalization, so by starting from the right I am able to modulate this input here without affecting the previous one, because the semi-normalization are cascaded, but you will see that very soon. The first thing that I want to do is to set one Falistri to LFO. Well, this one is already set to LFO, long time scale, and I will take the unipolar output of this one and patch it here. I will set the behavior to combo mode so that I will affect both the filter and the VCA. I can reduce it, and I can set a more linear shape for now. The principle of the Krell patch is to modulate the attack and decay time like this to achieve a wide variety of articulation effects, so with long decays and fast attack with a more percussive thing, or with slow attack and very abrupt decays, and everything in between. And the orthodox way of doing that is to set other two Falistris as LFOs, like this, and use the first one to modulate the attack, and the second one to modulate the decay, or the rise and the fall, to be more precise. I can adjust the offset. Some something like this, for example. And then we are going to randomize the speed of those LFOs, for example, by using the fluctuating random to control their speed. Now, in the original patch, Barton used one fluctuating random to control the attack and the other to control the decay of one envelope, and another random fluctuating random to control the attack of the other one. I will do the same. This one goes here and this one goes here. Now, at first, I asked myself, why using two LFOs randomly modulated to modulate the attack and the decay, while one could have just used, for example, the n+1 output straight after Sapel. And after talking with my colleagues here at Frap Tools, with Simone, Antonio and Federico, I just realized that it was to take advantage of the full range, because this LFO always goes from 0 to 10, while this one might fluctuate somewhere in the middle. And since we are dynamically modulating a linear curve, we can obtain different shapes of attacks and decays, not just a different speed of them. And now the fun part. We are going to take the end of fall output, which is at the end, and since it is looping also at the beginning of every cycle, and use it to trigger one of the two Sapel sections, for example the yellow one. And then we will take any random voltage output. I will go with the unquantized sample and hold and patch it to our oscillator's volt per octave. Right now you can see that something is going quite wrong, because I've got this switch set to the bottom, so the yellow generator is also affected by the green random generator, but I can just remove it like this. Nice! We need to add more dynamics, but now I can show you why I choose to I had to route the two filters one into the other, because the first one is providing the basic articulation, and the second one can stay rather static, so to speak. Like from this point onwards is mostly up to the system capabilities and the performance choices, but the point is that now we must add some timbre variation. For example, we can use another fluctuating random voltage to modulate the filter's frequency, but since we are already using them here and we don't have a 333 in this system, in this configuration here, like a buffered multiple, we can take another random voltage, anyone. Let's use the green generator. Let's set it to whatever speed we want, and we just have to patch the sample and hold through a linear integrator to obtain a sort of fluctuating random voltage. Since we have two Falistris, it's gonna be quite easy, and then we will use it to modulate the frequency of this filter here. And we can set another Falistri to LFO mode and use this one to modulate, for example, the wave folder. Actually, I'm gonna patch it to the timbre modulation bus. Like this, yeah. I think that we can also take advantage of another super fascinating modulation here on the brain. So the FM1. Let's remove this one. And we can try and use another random voltage, but in sync with the main clock to modulate the FM modulation amount and have a different value for every node. Right off the bat, I can see that in filter 4 I have quite a low setting, so I can beef it up a little bit like this through the character knob. Right now I have this sample and hold here whose probability distribution is all the way to the left, so I need to remove it to have more effect over this filter here. We are lacking some effects of this patch here, so I'm gonna plug something into my CGM, send and return. I just went for this vintage sounding reverb by Death by Audio that provides a more rough texture. Maybe this one is better. I might tune the oscillator down a bit more, because the Gaussian distribution of the analog random voltages will tend to gravitate towards the middle of the available frequency. Okay, I think that this is pretty much the Krell patch. I think that I'd like to add one extra touch, which can be, for example, using different random voltages to control the pitch, which can be the M+1 if we want something very tonal that increases only by octaves. Or we can use our Sapel output to trigger a sequence here over the USTA. So I will set the new project to the external clock, and I will obtain a sequence that, instead of random, can play just the notes that I want. So I might set everything to 0 like this and program a tonal sequence which can play just 5 notes. Let's stay in the East Coast vibe. Something like this. Let's spread it over a few octaves. And then I will use this one to control my oscillator, like this. I might transpose it up 1 octave. Is basically the principle of the Krell Patch, only with a predetermined set of notes instead of a random voltage, unquantized random voltage. That's pretty much the core concepts behind it. But there can be plenty of variation over the Krell Patch theme, and if you have other ideas or suggestions or approach, let me know in the comments below as usual. For now, I hope you found this video useful, and I will see you next time.